Hello, everybody. How are you? This is Paula Connor here with Elevate Me Hub, and this is a short video I wanted to share with you about why Kundalini Yoga. Why might you want to practice Kundalini Yoga? I'm going to share with you some immediate benefits I have experienced directly, share that with you, and then we can kind of go from there. So a little bit on Kundalini Yoga and why I chose this type of yoga. In my history, I've weaved in and out of using yoga, primarily when I had an injury. And as I shared in my previous video, my main focus of exercise and physical health and well-being lately, or at least in the last decade, was primarily 8.5 years of CrossFit. And then as I shared in my previous video, something happened to me physically a year and a half ago, a little over a year and a half ago, where I was physically not able to walk using a weighted vest up and down hills. I could not hike and do that anymore because of this physical challenge I had. And basically, as I shared with you previously, the universe said, sit down on your mat and listen. Now, why did I pick Kundalini Yoga? Actually, it was about almost 2 decades ago now when I did my Reiki level 1 and level 2 training. And that's when I saw my first aura. And I was like, oh my God, I can see your aura of my Reiki masters. The most beautiful color, vibrant colors I'd never seen before. And it was after that, I thought, okay, well, I'm going to give this meditation thing a try. You know, what is this? And I honestly felt like when I was beginning to meditate, that I was a little bit like Julia Roberts in Eat, Pray, Love, right? I was like scratching and twitching and my mind thoughts were all over the place. I'm like, I don't know how the hell to do this. But what happened was, and it was only like inside of a week, not even, it was really quick. I had a Kundalini awakening experience in meditation where I had a rush of energy, colors and lights shoot up from the base of my spine all the way up my body and out the top of my head. That honestly felt like an energetic orgasm. It was incredible. Like when I came out of it, I was like, what the heck was that? And my Reiki master actually was away in Scotland on psychic training, so I couldn't even talk to her for a few days. I'm trying to figure out what the heck happened. And when she came back, she's like, well, it sounds like you had a Kundalini awakening experience. And at that time, the closest person that was teaching Kundalini Yoga was about an hour and a half from me. I bought a book, but like life happened. It wasn't actually meant, I guess, at that time, because I didn't start practicing it then, to bring Kundalini Yoga into part of my daily life. It wasn't actually until about a year and a half ago, as a result of what I had just shared with you. So there are massive, massive benefits with physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of you for those aspects of you when you practice Kundalini Yoga. Now, I have to put a little bit of a waiver here that I would highly recommend that you seek guidance from your primary physical health provider, whether it's your naturopathic doctor, your homeopathic doctor, whoever is your primary physician, to ensure that you're good to go and that you can practice a lot of these techniques, because there are some things here that aren't good for people that have stomach issues or have high blood pressure or things like that. So just make sure you get a clean, basically a blessing for you to be able to take on this kind of a practice. And of course, if you are generally good to go, no allopathic drugs on board, have always had physical exercise, you've got no issues, you should be good. So Kundalini Yoga primarily is known as the yoga of self-awareness. It is a journey of the self, through the self, to the self, and the self being in capital S, meaning not the small self, your ego personality self, but the higher aspect of you, the divine spark, the Christ itself within you. This is about self-realization, honestly, primarily, because compared to all the other fabulous yoga techniques that are out there, Kundalini Yoga would be known as the more spiritual yoga. This, of course, is a personal choice. Not everybody wants to explore enlightenment, the path of expanding consciousness, but this is a phenomenal path that you can take that would lead you to that outcome, which would be self-realization, knowing exactly who you are. So let's start with the physical benefits. And I'm going to share, not only are the asanas, the poses, the movements that we do very beneficial for the physical body, but I want to start with primarily the breath work, the pranayama breath work that is very much a part of this ancient technology, this ancient science. And now my school is Yogamu Online, and it is, I believe, one of the top 10 schools globally. Phenomenal teacher. So my teacher is a traditional yogi, an Indian gentleman who actually is working on his PhD in yoga and is absolutely a blessing. So this is traditional Kundalini Yoga from the homeland of India. So the first thing I want to talk about is Bastrika. Bastrika, is also known as the bellows breath. It's like a furnace, like a blacksmith furnace, bellows breath. It's a rapid inhalation and exhalation, which helps to energize the body. And in Kundalini Yoga, we use this breath practice with a number of the movements that we do by synchronizing the breath with the movement. This is a fantastic exercise for the lungs, for people who are challenged with respiratory problems, allergies, cold, flu, and breathlessness. It helps to expand and strengthen the lungs, expand their capacity, and it loosens congestion and clears the airways. Now, this would be something similar. We would do something like a Sufi twist, you could call this. This actually position I'm taking right now is when we're working on the lymphatics. And we would inhale left, exhale right. I'm not going to teach this in this video, but that gives you an idea of what this Bastrika breath is. Not only does it do the things that I just told you about, it also reduces the toxins in the lungs, assists with the removal of mucus. It activates and invigorates the liver, the spleen, the pancreas, the abdominal muscles. It reduces tension in the abdomen. Also helps to decongest the lymphatics, which, as you likely know, doesn't have a pump. We need to take an action to help the lymphatic system drain the toxins out of our body. Thus, digestion is improved, the sinuses are drained, the eyes feel cool, and you also feel the energy in the body as a result of this practice. Like this really, you could say, fires you up, livens you up. That's the first one. And we use that breath work, Bastrika, with a lot of the movements during your yoga practice. So you can imagine if you're doing that consistently with your practice day to day, then the benefits are phenomenal for your entire body system. The second breath work or pranayama technique that I want to talk about is Kapalabhati, which is the breath of fire. There's a lot of videos online that you can take a look at, which shows you and will teach you how to do breath of fire. I will also teach you, but not in public classes. But this is a breathing technique that clears the head, helps to remove any impurities or issues with the lungs. Kapalabhati is actually shining skull. And so this clears the trachea, the windpipe. Blood is purified as a greater amount of oxygen is taken in, and a much greater amount of carbon dioxide is expelled. It helps to correct imbalances with the autonomic nervous system. And as a lot of folks might not be aware, the autonomic nervous system, which is something that I teach in my resilience training practice, the autonomic nervous system is responsible for 90% of the body's function. Endocrine system, the hormonal system, phenomenal amount is handled by the ANS. It strengthens the function of the liver, the kidneys, removes toxins from the body, energizes the nerves, detoxes the skin, soothes the sinuses and asthma. It also helps to stimulate hair growth, blood circulation, and digestive fire. And when we start to breathe slowly and deeply, because most of the population breathes very shallow, very in the upper part of the lungs, we don't take a deep belly breath. As an example, you could take a big, deep breath right now. Which way does your belly go? Which way does it go? If it goes in, then I would suggest you are not breathing properly, because when we breathe in, we really want the belly to bulge and expand, which means the diaphragm has lowered, allowing the lungs to fill up with air, and then the belly bulges, and then you exhale and the belly returns to its normal size. So when you breathe deeply and slowly, it actually helps to reduce the acidity in your pH balance. The blood is balanced when you breathe slower and deeper. This also, the Kapalabhati, breath of fire, it's the digestive fire helps to promote a natural healthy gut, and it also helps to burn fat, especially when you're in certain positions. Primarily, we do breath of fire with a straight spine, always in Tadasana, lotus pose, easy pose, where the spine is straight, but there are certain positions that we can use the breath of fire to help burn fat. And I can always talk about that at another time. Finally, it helps to de-stress the mind and strengthen the mind. So from a physical health perspective only, I can confirm through my direct experience, Kundalini Yoga helps to minimize and create balance with mucus, bile, and wind. Bile is extracted from the body as a toxin from the lymphatic system. Mucus, if it's not attended to properly, can create more inflammation, which, as you know, promotes dis-ease. And then wind, very important for our wind to balance as well. In fact, we have a pose called the wind liberating pose. And if you've ever done yoga before when you've been on your own, there might be a little bit of truth that it's, you know, it happens every now and again when we are when we're doing that. So physical strength, flexibility, mobility, endurance, and balance. Now, with CrossFit as an example, you are getting a very high intensity workout. You're lifting weights, you're mixing cardio when you're cardio tired, as it's a mixture of cardio, strength training, endurance, and gymnastics. With Kundalini workout, you are also getting, or rather, with a Kundalini Yoga session, not only are you getting what would be traditionally called a physical workout, but you're also getting a work in, as the Yoga Sutras states. And that involves the whole body, mind, emotions, spirit. It's a complete workout, work in, starting from the inside. And however, the physical body benefits immensely from this because you are supporting the organs of the body as well, and not just the muscular or skeletal structures. So you have strength, endurance, balance, flexibility, and the cardio and respiratory functions that are enhanced and strengthened through the pranayama techniques. So from my direct experience, 8.5 years at CrossFit. Before that, I did P90X, I did Insanity, and way back in the day, I did like Buns of Steel, Abs of Steel. So I've done it all. Okay, I've always worked out. But I can honestly say, and I did CrossFit like 5-6 times a week the last year. The very last year that I did it, I hired a nutritionist, Heather. Thank you so much. You were amazing. That helped me in my belief system and my relationship with food. She helped me with that because I also had this belief system as you're learning that the workouts have to be hard. It's got to be intense. It's got to be like, oh, you know, got to go, 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 go. Get that heart rate up to 185, 140, 190 beats per minute. I practice the Kundalini Yoga. I have burned more fat, head to toe up my whole body, lost the whole size, top to toe, and my digestive system, lymphatic system, lung capacity, all of those things I've just shared with you. I've had a direct experience. It absolutely works. The benefits are phenomenal. And then, you know, like from a workout perspective, you know how good, if you are a frequent, regular exerciser, you know how good it feels. And if you haven't worked out, you don't like to move, you know you need to, but you really don't want to, I promise you that you will feel like $1,000,000. It'll feel like not only you had the most amazing workout that you did, you're also going to feel nourished, supported, balanced, harmonized as well internally. It's like that hour on the mat creates heaven within. And then you can you can embrace the rest of your day from that point of perspective, from that point of perception. Because I do yoga every day, and I got to tell you, it's impossible, nearly impossible to have a bad day when you practice yoga, when it becomes part of your life. So now let's talk about the mind. And as you know, Mind Your Mind series I created. It's a 6-part series, 25 minutes each, to help you control this. Because if you don't have control over your mind, you are easily puppeted and manipulated by external forces, for lack of a better word. And right now, you cannot rely on anything in the external because everything is changing. The entire 3D structure that we've been brought up in, that we've lived in as part of our reality, is completely crumbling. You're watching it. The building is burning. It's over. It's everything that does not serve the benefit and the liberation of the human race is not going to continue. So the mind, very, very important to learn how to control the mind. A healthy mind, healthy body. This is priceless. The value of that is absolutely incalculable. So the power of yoga has been known for centuries as no other force. There is no other force out there as powerful as yoga. Through its force, the whole personality, the whole aspects of us, the body, the mind, the intellect, the thoughts, the emotions, and behavior can be brought under control, moderated, and balanced. That's what we need. So from the book, Garanda Samhita, Sage Garanda, he had visualized that there is no other science in the world as powerful or that works for the development of the body, the mind, and the consciousness in such a fully integrated manner. There is no education today that develops the whole mind or the whole entire personality. You experience your inner world like you have never experienced it before. When you come to the mat and you practice Kundalini Yoga, you'll begin to hear your own thoughts. You'll begin to question, why am I thinking that? Does that make me feel good? Does that make me feel bad? And just be with yourself. You have an opportunity just to be with yourself, to quiet the external noise and chaos that is constantly bombarding you with things that you need to be afraid of, things that you need to be worried with. And it helps you withdraw your senses from the external world and bring your focus internal, which is where it really matters, because this is the only thing you can control. What is behind the eyes? That's part 5 of the Mind Your Mind series. Greatest show on earth happens behind the eyes. So you experience an inner world like you never have before. The breath will follow the mind. When you learn how to control the breath, use the breath as one of your power tools, you begin to control the wanderings of the mind, because the mind fluctuations, they are stilled through consistent practice and acceptance. And the first step has to be awareness. You can't change what you can't see. But as soon as you're aware, that's the first step. So now I want to talk about the benefits to the spirit, to the soul. Talked about the body, talked about the mind, and I want to talk about your soul, your spirit. My direct experience, again, can share with you that as I started to slow down and soften, using the gentleness and incredible power of Kundalini Yoga, that's when I started having far more insights, vision, intuition started to come on board even stronger. It's like as I softened and became more loving and compassionate, kind and gentle towards myself, that is what has allowed the soul and the spirit to step forward as a far more predominant, prevalent force or guide in my world. When I'm practicing my daily sadhana, which is my personal practice, I am literally in bliss. I am in samadhi. I feel so connected, so loved, so joyful, so present when I'm on my mat. because it can really be likened as a form of meditation, except you're using your entire being. Meditation doesn't necessarily mean you're sitting in lotus chanting alms. Meditation can be a walking meditation. It can be your daily life. Actually, when you begin to awaken, your entire life becomes a meditation. When you're doing the dishes, when you're cooking, when you're walking the dog. It feels to me when I'm practicing yoga that I'm honoring my spirit. I'm honoring my soul. It's being nourished through my own conscious awareness of my physical practice. I spend time in a long stretch, and I'm telling my feet and my legs and my shins and my knees how much I love them. And it just feels so damn good. So after a yoga practice, it's really, really easy to have an awesome day. It's impossible to have a bad day. And so if you want to have more of a connection to your own soul, this will absolutely be a pathway forward for you. And the other thing I have to share with all star seeds, light workers, light warriors, awakened beings, truthers, anybody on the planet right now that is aware of all of this energy that is coming into the planet, the CMEs, the geomagnetic storms, and the Kundalini energy of the planet awakening, help us expand our consciousness, because this is what this ascension is this is the quantum leap in our consciousness, in the way that we think. So if you are being challenged by those energies that we are all being bathed in, the practice of Kundalini Yoga will absolutely help you integrate them. Back in March, I was given a vision of roses, beautiful blooms of roses on every single vertebrae in my spine. And I was shown a rolling pin that I needed to do a practice to help move the energy out of my spine and integrate it through the rest of my body. So I promise you that if you give this a try, you just give it a try, that the rewards will be as phenomenal for you as they are for me. And then finally, I'm going to close today with a couple of offerings, that because this is a new service that I'm adding to my already online business or studio, or what I offer to people. All of the services that I offer specialize in the internal world. The Mind Your Mind series helps you control the mind. The resilience training that I teach helps you open up the heart and learn more about your physiology so that you can become the master of your own being completely, mind, body, spirit, and allow that soul spirit to step forward and nourish you, really, really nourish you. So I'm going to offer, what I am offering is Tuesdays at 11 a.m. I have a beginner's class, kind of like an introduction to Kundalini Yoga, that you're welcome to attend. It's karma only. It's by karma or donation only. You don't have to donate if you don't want to. This is just I guess it's a way that I can offer a class for you to try, perhaps before you start working with me a little bit more consistently. So that's on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And on Thursdays, I have a class at 11 a.m. and that one is called Beyond Beginners. So that would be for individuals that have had a regular physical fitness kind of practice, and you want to experience a little bit more of the yoga. And then, of course, I will also do group sessions, private sessions as well, corporate sessions. If you need this as part of your wellness training for work, we can certainly work something out there that will benefit for you. So 2 classes, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. The Tuesday class is karma or donation only. The Thursday class, I'm asking $10 Canadian for that. And how you would do that is you just need to send me an email and request that you want to register for that class. I'll get you the video link. I'm going to ask you to sign a waiver just to make sure that you've got the blessing for your own physical abilities to take the class, because I certainly would not want to share an exercise with you that would be perfectly appropriate for someone who has no issues and then could cause a challenge for you. So we want to make sure that I have an awareness of what any limitations or injuries that you have before we begin. And then I'll get you the Zoom link, and we can go from there. The other thing, that kind of frustrated me, so I want to get your feedback on this. I'm curious, what do you like about your classes, the yoga classes that you do now, or don't like, or why you don't? to give you some feedback as to what do you like, what don't you like, what do you wish you had, what do you wish you had less of. And that way I can listen to that feedback and kind of shape my offerings that best serve your needs. Because one of the things that I was frustrated about, because like I mentioned, yoga was never part of a consistent part of my life. It was only I would weave in and out of it, maybe if I had an injury or something, but generally speaking, it wasn't my primary way to move energy. But what I didn't like was I would go to a class and it's like you do these poses, the asanas. Now these are traditional, either mokshu or I don't think I've been to a hatha class. I think I've been to vinyasa classes. But they have you doing these asanas, these poses, but you don't really get taught how you can do them. Like, how do you build the strength so that you can get to chaturanga, no problem? How do you build the strength so you can do wheel or chakrasana? How do you open up your hips and your knees and your joints so that you can sit in the lotus? None of those things are really taught. So I was thinking, because I'm brand new, relatively speaking, this isn't something I've been doing for 20, 30, 40 years. It's relatively new to my experience, but I can tell you when I started, I couldn't do a lot of those things, but I can now. And it doesn't take that long. All that has to happen is you put your body into that position every day over a period of time consistently, and it becomes part of your range of motion. I know I went and had some physio done recently for an old, actually it was a couple of months ago, for an old soccer injury. And I know she's blown away. My physio gal was like, oh my gosh, your range of motion is incredible. So let me know what you don't like, what you do like, what you would like. How can I serve you better with this? And just shoot me an email. And I think that's all I really wanted to share. I am going to come back with a couple of short videos tomorrow, just showing you, demonstrating you just a couple of the movements that we're going to do. That way, when you do join us, they will be relatively familiar to you. And also it gives you an opportunity that you can, if you like them, if they feel good, you can incorporate them into your own daily routine for your physical well-being. So thank you for listening. That's all I wanted to share for now. And I'll be back with a couple more videos. And please do share your comments and write me an email if you want to learn any more, or if you have something you want to discuss outside of the public forum. So thank you so much. So glad that you popped in to listen, and God bless you. And we'll be back soon with a couple of videos. Take care. Bye.